Have you ever felt like you're fighting a battle no one else can see? A silent war waged within the confines of your own mind. For years, I lived in the shadow of that war, convinced that the world outside held all the formidable adversaries. The competition, the demanding deadlines, the critical eyes of others, they all seemed like insurmountable giants. But slowly, painfully, I came to a profound realization. My biggest enemy was never out there. It was always, unequivocally, me. My name is Alex, and for a long time, I was a prisoner of my own making. I had dreams, grand, sweeping visions of what I could achieve, who I could become. But those dreams remained just that, ethereal wisps of possibility, never quite solidifying into reality. Why? Because between me and my aspirations stood an impenetrable fortress built from fear, comfort, and the insidious whispers of self-doubt. Fear told me I wasn't good enough, that I would fail spectacularly, making a fool of myself. Comfort wrapped me in a warm, deceptive blanket, convincing me that staying put, staying safe, was preferable to the arduous climb towards the unknown. And self-doubt. Oh, self-doubt was the master architect, meticulously crafting reasons why I should abandon every ambitious thought before it even took root. I was intelligent, capable, but I was paralyzed. My potential lay dormant, a vast, untapped ocean within me, while I merely dabbled in the shallow end of life. One evening, staring at my reflection, I didn't see Alex. I saw a stranger, someone whose eyes held a flicker of regret for roads untaken, for words unspoken, for the person I could have been. It was a jarring, uncomfortable truth, and in that moment, a tiny spark ignited. A spark of defiance. I realized I held the power to change my life. Not someone else, not some external force or stroke of luck. Me, I had the power to become my own hero, to rescue myself from the prison I had so carefully constructed. The journey didn't begin with a monumental leap, but with a shaky, almost imperceptible step. I decided to tackle a long-deferred passion project, writing a novel. The idea had haunted me for years, but the sheer scale of it, the fear of judgment, had always kept me from starting. My inner critic immediately pounced. "You're not a writer. You'll never finish. It'll be terrible." But this time, something was different. I didn't listen. I picked up a pen and a notebook, not waiting for the perfect moment, not waiting for inspiration to strike like lightning, not waiting until I had a dedicated office or a clear schedule. I started right there, on my cramped kitchen table, with the faint hum of the refrigerator as my muse. The first sentence was clumsy, the first paragraph even worse, but it was a start. That initial act of defiance taught me a crucial lesson about fear. It's a master illusionist, often exaggerated, blowing minor obstacles into towering infernos. The fear of starting was far worse than the act of actually starting. Each word I wrote, no matter how imperfect, chipped away at the fortress of my self-doubt. With every page, I discovered a strength I didn't know I possessed, a resilience that had been hidden beneath layers of apprehension. Facing that fear, even in such a small way, wasn't just about writing. It was about reclaiming a piece of myself. Of course, the path wasn't paved with easy victories. There were days, weeks even, when the words wouldn't come. When the plot felt like a tangled mess, when the blank page felt like a mocking void. On those days, the old voices returned, louder and more insistent. "Give up, Alex. This isn't for you. Go back to comfort." This is where many give in, waiting for motivation to magically appear. But I learned that motivation isn't something you wait for. It's something you create. It's a fire you stoke through consistent action, especially on the difficult days. I learned to show up even when I didn't feel like it. I set a small, non-negotiable goal, write for at least 30 minutes, no matter what. Some days, those 30 minutes felt like an eternity, yielding nothing but garbage. Other days, they unlocked a torrent of creativity. But the act of showing up, of choosing discipline over fleeting comfort, built a muscle of self-drive that began to define me. Mistakes were inevitable. Chapters had to be rewritten, characters reimagined, entire plot lines scrapped. Each setback felt like a punch to the gut, a confirmation of my initial fears, but I began to reframe them. True learning, I realized, wasn't about avoiding errors. It was about changing your actions based on them. Every mistake became a lesson, a signpost guiding me towards a better approach. I started viewing feedback, even harsh criticism, not as personal attacks, but as valuable data points for growth. This shift in perspective transformed failure from a paralyzing threat into an invaluable teacher. The journey was long, demanding persistence, sacrifice, and continuous effort. I sacrificed hours of mindless entertainment, evenings out with friends, and the luxury of sleeping in. My social life dwindled. My weekends were often spent hunched over my laptop, fueled by lukewarm coffee and an unyielding commitment. There were moments of profound loneliness, moments when I questioned if it was all worth it. But then I'd remember that silent war, that stranger in the mirror, and the fear of not reaching my potential would surge, eclipsing the fear of failure. My greatest fear became looking back and knowing I hadn't given it everything. I refused to give up too soon. Success, I discovered, isn't a sudden explosion. It's built from small, consistent daily choices. It's showing up day after day, even when the progress feels glacial, even when things are difficult. It's the cumulative effect of those seemingly insignificant decisions to write one more sentence, to do one more edit, to research one more detail. It's the presence of mind to choose growth over inertia, repeatedly, tirelessly. Years passed. My novel, after countless revisions and rejections, finally found a publisher. It wasn't an overnight sensation, but it was out there. And more importantly, I was out there. The Alex who started that journey, paralyzed by fear and self-doubt, was gone. In his place stood someone who had learned to trust his own resilience, to create his own motivation, and to embrace the long, arduous path of growth. The path to success is a marathon, not a sprint, requiring unwavering commitment, relentless hard work, and profound patience. There are no quick wins, no lucky breaks that substitute for the grind. Today, I continue to write, to learn, to grow. The internal battles still arise, but now I recognize them for what they are: echoes of an old self. I've learned that the most formidable opponent you will ever face is the person you are right now, holding yourself back. But I also know that within you lies the hero capable of overcoming that opponent. You have the power to dismantle those walls of fear, to step out of the comfort zone, and to silence the whispers of self-doubt. The journey will be long, it will be hard, but the destination, becoming the person you are always meant to be, is the most profound success of all. Don't wait. Start now. Become your own hero.